Okay, let's pick up where we left off. So, I'm going to go through these real quick. Hidden giants. Hidden giants. They got legs, but the upper bodies are kind of washed out somehow. I'm going through the beginning part of this really fast because I've already covered it on the Twitch video that I did. So if you haven't seen that, you can check it out at that time. All right. Okay. So we'll move on here. People, they're too small in the doorway, but on this very same wall, the ancient frescoes, or if fresco isn't the exact right term, I would say wall murals or depictions, whatever the case, the folks there are in proportion to the very same stone, well, are they stone, doorways. And when I say are they stone, all these things, I'm finding many of them are covered in a stone-like material, but at the core, they're bricks, red bricks, Tartarian bricks, folks. ChaCharian bricks. This, are those antennas at the top? I don't know, it got cut off. There's a niller sky back there. And we have ye old ladder lean, plus strange looking devices, the circle with like the anode thing in the middle. What's going on there? Is it like a giant metal detector? What is it? I don't know. Could just be decorative. Buried buildings. Looks like the tippy top of a tower. Here, boom. Look at the little people down there. See the little people in the bottom middle area? And then there's a guy under this huge doorway. See, he's walking in on the right, like, hey, babe, hey, how you doing? Hey, yeah, I feel like a pipsqueak in this place. But I'm cool about it, you know. I'd like to look at myself in the mirror, but I need to do ye oldie ladder lean. Well, actually, it's ye new ladder lean, you know. How are ye oldie ladies doing? Well, so what size of person would fit the room? Well, based just on the mirror, you know, you don't have to have a mirror above your eye level usually. You don't even have to have a mirror up to the top of your head to see your whole body, not even close. That's how angles work. But let's say that they have this mirror a lot taller than like the average person. Well, here's an average person for the mirror, and compare her height to the ladies in the middle of the room. Okay, maybe somebody's a little bit closer than somebody else, but I don't know. Okay, it's just a shrugging. Ja. She's got a big sword, you know, like the kind we see. It's actually bigger than the huge swords that they call double-handed swords, long swords. Here, oh, that's old stone, blah, blah, blah. Actually, if you look in the back, it kind of looks like brick a little bit. I mean, a lot of it is stone block, but that's the really ancient stuff if it's actually all solid stone. Anything post-deluge is going to probably have brick bones. Kind of looks like a huge, oversized building, and you think the people in the wagons made that? And to quote Subphotonic here, towers to the domes. Towers to the domes, folks. I don't know what it means. Something with energy? Or, you know, it's certainly not just aesthetics, is it? I don't think so. It has a purpose. But look at the size. Look at the scale. It's just amazing. Are all mountains collapsed buildings? Is that why there are layers upon layers upon layers? And then the hallways, the passageways, the corridors, the tunnels, those are the caves of today, perhaps, in some cases, not all. Looks like some wood overgrew some structure and then turned to stone, or looks like some structure was carved out of wood and it all turned to stone. But more likely the first case, I think. I don't know. Towers to the domes. Towers to the dizomes. Y'all, boy. Look at this. There are boats upside down on the firmament. The stars are the angels. They're not ernst angely. They're just angels. Angels? Yeah. Bum. Looks like the beginnings of a star fort to me. Kind of deserty. What's going on with the trees? And look, this building is built. This is like the Tartarian building when it's first built. I don't know where the picture came from. It's a no context video today. Big empty city taken from the air. Looks like could be like Moscow or something like that. I don't know. Could be anywhere. Old ChaCharian buildings with we people walking around. We the people. We the we people. Are they building this or digging it out? Are they building this or salvaging and repairing what they can? Look at the size of that hand cart. Ooh, boy. People just kind of walking into town. You can see right through the buildings. They don't bother to put glass. They build skyscrapers, but they don't put glass in them. No. They got antennas and power lines, utility poles, telegraph wires, electrical wires, and they're all dressed in 19th century clothing. Not even early 20th century clothing, in my humble opinion. And they've got loads of electric streetcars they don't know what to do with. All dressed up and nowhere to go. The place is a mess, folks. You're spending too much time on your cult-like appearances. Towers to the domes. Boy! Towers to the dizomes. Look at the Tartarian brick. Look at the strange electrical structure of these. I don't know what they're called. Forgive me if I'm offensive or whatever, because I don't know the terminology, but they're not minarets, but you know, the drop upside down, like drop things that's on the things, you know, usually on mosques, I think. Whatever. It's electricity. Look at them sending the sound waves around. That's how they rock. This book, I mentioned before, giants, blah, blah, blah. But look at the tiny writing at the bottom. Makes it dubious. Makes it like, what's going on here? It's disinfo, I think. ChaCharian bricks upon remains of the deluge with a layer of mudflood over top. And it's not destroyed because you've never seen it before. If it were something more visible to the world, they would have had it burned down by now. Interesting concept there. This is how they communicated with sound across great distances before telegraphs, maybe it's something completely different. But, you know, you can picture yourself on one end, subphotonic on the other end, saying, towers to the domes. You know, you could hear it. That's a big old cup of something. Kind of weirdish, the legs and kind of a weird, like a cult-like, I don't know, not my style, put it that way, but the construction's really neat, and the size, the scale of it's pretty awesome. Look at this. I mean, what the heck? These people built this and then kind of dropped it or something, or had an incident. Kids doing a science experiment, mixed the wrong chemicals or whatever happened there. I don't know. Look at these huge people. Why do I say huge? Because look at the Bartholdi fountain down there, you know what I'm talking about? Those huge fountains that were made for the expositions that, you know, when we stand next to them, you're looking up at most of it, you know, you can't even see the water in the top parts of it. Like, who is this made for? Because from our height, you know, you're looking up, you just kind of see the bottom of those extra little bowls. You can kind of hear the water flowing. But no, that's kind of a hand washing station for them. And if you look at the rest of the architecture, they're kind of puny for it anyway. What's going on around here? Nero fiddles while Rome burns, but doesn't look like the Rome that we know. And Nero looks like a pretty huge dude. How many bricks tall is he? That's pretty big. Which one is Big Ben? It's the little one in the foreground. What the heck's going on there? I don't know. Who's shooting at what with that? Have you ever seen a medieval motorcycle? It's the original Harold, son of David. You know, the predecessor to the Harley Davidson. It's the Sir Harold, son of David. Yeah. Biker gangs. That's how they rolled back then. They like to dress them up like horses. They called it an electric horse, or their, you know, bikes or whatever. Maybe they were Dutch soldiers. They protected the dams or the dikes from, you know, danger and attacks. And they were the original dykes on bikes. Just had to. That there looks like electricity to me. Looks like some big steps. Who's walking up them big steps? And those are some big doors. It's like this huge building and then somebody built something on top of it. I don't know. Pretty awesome, whatever it is. Again, no context. Sorry. Look at the tops of these. I mean, that is your atmospheric energy at work. It's 2 towers. Lord of the Rings, 2 towers. You see it all the time. 2 towers, 2 towers, 2 towers. 2 towers for the Tartarians and the Teutons. Teutonic Knights, whatever. I don't know. What I'm doing now is called history improvisation. But I will take my own historical interpretations, the live, well, pre-recorded, in this case, historical improv. Because even though I have basically almost no idea what I'm talking about, no formal training in this regard, really. I mean, I took a lot of classes on that stuff in college, but, you know, I'm not even using that. That's the historical narrative. See, what's going to get you closer to the truth of a matter? A pre-planned, preordained, scripted narrative that we know is false, or a guy like me just chewing the fat, or, you know, spitting with the wind, or whatever you want to say. I don't know. I'm just freestyling over this stuff, but a lot of times that's how you get places. So when they did have tunnels, it would make sense to have like the ramp down the middle and then the steps. You can use the steps if you want. You can use the ramp if you have a cart or whatever. And then how they lit it, we don't know, but they certainly did light it somehow. And not with the way they teach you, like they carried torches around. That's bull crap. So whatever it was, it looked like this probably. This looks a little bit Photoshop-ish. But what in the heck are they trying to prove? Who? I don't know. It's like packed in with mud in the middle? Like what? And what are these arches for anyway? They're all over the place. Like, again, excessive height on the mirrors. You can see the faded places on the walls where, they had picture frames centered in those rectangular openings because the people were tall enough to look in those mirrors. They were tall enough to look at the paintings over there. And the chandelier was probably higher back then. The furniture was probably larger. The doorway probably didn't have that threshold over the top of it. It probably went up to almost to the crown molding on the top. And look, if you don't believe me about the mirrors as a dead giveaway to this whole thing, obviously after some time they decided to hang a picture of some num-num. I don't know if it's George Washington or whoever. Whatever. They hung it over top the mirror. I mean, come on. That is kind of weird, and it kind of ruins the whole scheme. You know what I mean? Scene. It ruins it, really. And by the way, the fireplace isn't. Give you a hint there. It's not a fireplace. It's a cold air return for a steam heating system. And it was also used, for the purposes of the gathering of some kind of energy, if not electricity. Here's an electric barge boat, canal boat, riverboat, whatever. Now, you can't tell me you've seen that before. I don't know. I never have seen anything it's the likes of which I have never before seen. Conveniently, it has no top, so you can't tell how tall the original people were that used it. But judging by the height of the wires, that seems a little excessive too. Is this 1 or 2 sailboats? Could be 2. But yeah, it is 2, I think. I don't know. Either way, it looks pretty darn large. Pipes in Rome. Again, the mirrors, the paintings. How can you see the details in those paintings? They just don't build them like that anymore. No. Is that code stone? They can't make it anymore. Coadstone. I have to say thanks to Colin Gibney. He has a new video out. It's pretty cool about star forts and such. But yeah, he enlightened. I Skype with him. He enlightened me about the code stone. It's kind of a ceramic. It's not really stone, and the process makes it like weatherproof, and it can be molded and made into these fine shapes. And supposedly they made it all starting in the 1800s and ending shortly afterwards in the 1800s, early 1800s. It's found all over the world, yet there aren't that many really great examples of it, and somebody claims they can make it nowadays, starting in the year 2000, I guess. But I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure they can really even make that stuff now. I'm not so sure they could do it in the 1800s either. I think it was found. There's a lot of stuff. Here's one of those fountains. I mean, look at the size of it. You gonna wash your hands in that fountain and lean over? See those knockers hanging out there? Those are guys. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the knockers on the left. They were door handles, maybe? Maybe. Because wouldn't it make sense? You can just have the thing you use to open the door. Like if you push it, you don't need the knockers. But doors open to the outside, they pretty much always have. So you need to pull. But why do you have to twist a knob and pull? They had back then. I mean, this is one thing I do know, being around these old buildings sometimes, a lot different times in my life. They had a latch that had a lock, or the lock could be separate, but they had a latch, and then they had a knocker slash handle. It served both purposes. You could use it to knock with, but otherwise you just used it to pull the door open, and it was at the height that you would use. You would have a door handle pretty much. But then, now they put the knockers too high, just out of what's familiar. Star forts, great place to build a castle. There's some kind of energy, according to myths and legends I recently read, that come out of these. A lot of them were ancient tree stumps, the star forts. Yes, yes. Food for thought. They fought over those things too, by the way. Like, that is where you put your... if you could get that spot, you'd prosper from there. That's what we see. Prosperity coming out from the center, or from the star fort. Why? I don't know. Look at they make bridges like that nowadays. Is your local municipality planning on building a bridge like this? I didn't think so. And if they did, would that scale be like that? I mean, I've been on brand new bridges where you need a high railing for driving, so you don't go off the edge and into, icy waters below, way below. But they don't even build the railing that high. It freaks me out. If I drove a minivan with, like, bad suspension or something, I'd be terrified. But because, but those railings, that's pretty high. Anyway. Buried castle, or did they just build this out in the middle of nowhere? Yep, big doors. Okay, so these are these Hall of Machinery and these expositions. And I think they were mostly hippodromes because airships were the mode of transportation that got people around all the way back in the day. Maybe even back in the time of Jesus. Airships. Just fabric and hydrogen or helium, whatever. But they had big open spaces. Now, look at this. Typo, sorry. Does weight capacity match present day expectations? Even just picture that stairway filled, packed with people, and imagine that they're all holding a 50-pound bag. Still, it's way overkill, those support columns. But look at the overhead space, too. Look at those doorways. Now they put a threshold on the top, but that wasn't originally there. And look at the windows. How tall were the people for whom this building was built? I think we know. I'm quoting Buzz Aldrin. But I think we know, don't we? Yeah, beautiful. Is anybody building like this? Is anybody doing this? Oh, didn't think so. I can see a blimp in there. The Hall of Machinery. Why is it curved at the top? Why does it have a big old door opening at one end? And it's pretty much exactly like an airplane hangar, pretty much, except it's not for wings, it's for a blimp, dirigible, as it were. One after the other. Hall of Machinery. It's definitely not a hippodrome. I don't know why they call it that. Blimp, dirigible warehouse building. Now, the ones that they have today, they're not so beautiful and ornate and everything. They actually camouflage them. For some reason, they want to hide them from you. But they're out there. They've made hundreds of these airships. Have you seen one lately? I'm not talking about the Goodyear blimp. I'm talking in the past 5 or maybe 7 years, they've built hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those airships, and nobody ever sees them. I wonder why. Oh yeah, those cannons. And then look, what is that, an obelisk in there? What the heck's that doing in there? I don't even know. Okay, this is the World's Fair Machinery Hall. Does this look like a factory to you? Does this look like a, industrial center? That's what they used to be. The old factories were like built like this. Like what? And again, towers to the domes. It's kind of in pieces. Look at the size of it. Like, did these people build this? What are they doing? Just trying to tear it down? Big old oil pump or something? What the heck's going on around here? They can barely even handle any of that stuff. They're just yanking on it with ropes and probably have donkeys pulling on it, and they walked into this stuff. Come on. It's a big stage set Truman Show thing, man. Now this is one of the, I can tell it's older, so the people actually fit it better. Now look at the people in this building. The building doesn't look so large. But if you look at the other pictures, people are teeny tiny inside. So these are bigger people, I think. Methinks. Huge. There's ye olde ladder lean over to the left. See it? Leaning up. Oh, there's one to the right. Ye old ladder lean. These big machines. Look how ornate this stuff is. What in tarnation's going on around here? I say, I do declare. Look at the left. I mean, it's like part fine arts museum, part dirty factory, Look at the size of that locomotive. Is that for regular sized folks? I didn't think so. I don't think so. And I've been noticing that the early locomotive engines. Oh, it's another factory. It looks like a factory, doesn't it? Nope. Looks a little oversized too. Towers to the domes. Oh, there's another one. Nah, that was never used to build an airship or to house an airship or anything of the sort. Never. Near air. Never ever. It's this big abandoned place here. Oh, it's a factory. They love their flags. More flags! Sir, we have 5 flags. We need to get down to business. I want more flags up there.
I want them right now. You go get them. Put them up, flags. Put them up there. I'm going to see the flags waving. But put them up, put up the flags right now. Yes, sir.
Oh crap. We read the design wrong. It was supposed to be feet and we thought it was inches. We scaled it wrong, folks. Sorry. Oh, let's just carry on with the exhibition. Is this where vampires live? Because they never sleep. They just continually do interior decorating, I guess. Wouldn't explain the mirrors, though. Now this boilerplate to the left, this robot from the late 1800s, that's like a Mandela effect to me. But I know it's probably been around. Like, what is it even? There are all these pictures of it, and it's like standing there. Did they set this thing up? Like, what the heck is it? It's not a guy in a suit. His legs are too skinny. I don't know. Look at this place. Anybody building one of these currently? In your backyard, maybe? Maybe that Coral Castle guy down in Florida. All right. Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore, do they? Nope. This may be familiar. I know it from the game Pitfall from the Xbox. Look at this place. My gosh. Again, the stairs, it's so perfect. This is the inside. This is what it looks like of these places that they burned down. Now, maybe they had reasons, but number one, how is a fire going to burn this place down? And number two, why would you even want to? Well, in this case, they probably found a way to get the stairs to work, with smaller steps, and they just went with it. Those arches are everywheres. Everywheres. And why is it so low down? Beautiful. Simply marvelous. Marvelous. Kind of a weird tower. Towers to domes. I don't see a dome. What the heck's going on there? There's always this disembodied knight. It's like a bunch of people wearing armor got dustified, like in Avengers, the last couple Avengers movies, that old chestnut. And just their armor is left. What the heck is this? Looks like plastic paneling, but it's marble. How do you do that? How did they do it? Houseboat. Boathouse. Huge. Because you look at the benches on the bottom, like, how tall did they think their guests would be? It'd be kind of top heavy-ish. Like, what in the heck's even going on there? I mean, this is kind of, I don't know. Hello. Oh, I better just move on. I can't believe how, I can't even show you that. That was it. Stop looking at it. Don't go back and look at it. Why? Because YouTube, boy, they think that I'm running some kind of a XXX operation here. When I show artwork, if there's a bare breast, oh boy, man. Oh, look out. Here come the censors. Boy, that looks like Noah's Ark, doesn't it? And then it has like a modern day house on top. What the heck's going on around here? What is it? How much wood did... What? I don't know. You tell me, because I don't know. That looks like a modern house up there. And like, wouldn't the waves breach the sides? Or how huge is it? I guess it's a river barge, but why does it look like that? It's just, I don't know. This was cool. Electric. Kind of looks like a fake backdrop. But that's how they did it back then. That's how they took the pictures. It's weird. Kind of looks like Luke Skywalker, and then there's like a giant on the other side. Fascinating. I find it to be curious. Yes, they are turning in a clockwise fashion because good vibes. Those black suits of armor, they're all empty. Like, what was that? What caused that? Why are there so many depictions of that? And it looks like they're living in a carved out tree. Is all that red stuff Tartarian bricks? They're just so tiny compared to these giants. Because the people on the right side might be like our size ish. This is not too long after the deluge, I can tell, and they're just sifting through the debris from the deluge, or whatever. Probably the deluge as the waters receded. Now there is something electrical going on there. Those aren't flags, are they? Maybe if those are flags, I mean, that's still looking pretty electrical. Hey, and over to the left, what is it? That's right, folks. Looks kind of like ye olde ladderline. Scale. 1 hash mark is feet. 2 hash marks is inches. Keep it straight, guys, before you go building another 12 times sized building. Now, where is this building today? I don't know. Is this the Vatican? I think the Vatican's like the only one big enough. Yeah, I think this is the Vatican. How long has it been around then? And if this isn't the Vatican, if this isn't St. Peter's Basilica, then it must be another one of these ones that burnt down or whatever. Burnt down. Yeah. Electrical. Oh, they got the scale wrong again. Feet, inches, darn it. Gotta make a note. Don't make a mental note, make an actual note. Mental notes don't work for some people. That is an astrolabe, folks, not a football. It's not the all-seeing eye or any of that crap. This is a computer. Performs between 400 and 1,000 functions, or maybe even more. They keep finding new ways. You can calculate just about anything with that, honestly. This is a Giant's car, or also it's a steam engine. It's also a fire engine thing. They called them an apparatus back then. But look at the building in the background. Look at the scale. And are we to believe that's a gas light? It has wires running to it in the back? No, it's electric. It's electric. That is a plumbing manifold to me is what it looks like. Or tube transport or something of that sort. And then it's very well, it's like decoratively ornate. They have 3D printing. I mean, even with 3D printing today, we don't make our plumbing fixtures that nice. I don't know. This was interesting. Reading, like must-read stuff here. Sent to me by a subscriber. Genghis Khan's World. Very, very interesting food for thought here. The Mongols as being representing the world of God, or representing the will of God. They seemed like almost too powerful, like for people, but then at the same time they kind of retreated into somewhere that nobody knows, you know, journey into the unknown. Like the northern Urals, and they just kind of went north and they just kind of disappeared. The Tartar trump card. What is the Tartar trump card? Is the Tartar trump card still being played today? Well, perhaps in the 1940s. I have a video coming up about that. It'll blow your mind. This looks like the representations of the dome, but in reverse. Did part of the dome fall down? No. I think it's an evaporation, like a desalinization plant that they are demolishing. Yep. Towers to the domes. Towers to the domes. Look at all them towers around the zone. Boy. They call it a temple. Temples and tombs. Temples and tombs. Oh, better just... I can't even comment on that. Normal people can comment on artwork and stuff, but I get in trouble, so I just have to move on. Maybe I can blur out the naughties. Ugh. Okay, I won't even talk about it. Don't think about it. Don't scroll back. You might become disturbed and you might have to report me to the authorities. That's metal right there. It's metal. It's like it's buried in rock or whatever. It looks like rock. But that, see the rust and all that? That is metal, babe. That is metal. And that, to me, looks like a fossilized, icky, gross snake. Ugh, we'll move on from that. Oh, same. Okay, whatever. I don't know. Not a statue, probably. Can't look at it, though. It's not. It's scholarly, documentarian, historical research, and art, maybe. And then maybe not the last one or whatever, but you can't be too careful nowadays when you have a YouTube channel and your name's UAP. You can get in trouble. Remember in elementary school when kids would open their mouths as wide as they could, usually girls, and they'd just go, ah, ah. That's a pretty cool instrument. Not sure how it sounds. It's a neat idea. Anybody ever seen trucks like these? Trucks like these? There's a Huey Lewis in the News song. It's a really old song. Playing on the radio still when I was a little kid. And I thought it was, I need a new truck. One that won't quit. One that won't make me feel 3 feet thick. You know, I thought he didn't like his truck that he had. You know, I watched like truck commercials, you know, Chevy, Dodge, Ford, truck. You know, I was into trucks as a kid. Yeah. So when I heard the song, it made perfect sense to me. I need a new truck. One that won't make me hurt. One that can tow my stuff. Haul lots of dirt. Whatever. You know, misheard lyrics. But Mudflood. Look at the doors way up there. What are they doing way up there? Doesn't make sense. I mean, they have train tracks down there. What the heck's going on around here? Nether skies. Mudflood right there. That's the Mudflood, folks. Mudflood. It's not diarrhea. It's, well, mud. It could be mud fall. But is it even mud? It's silt fall is what it really is now to me. I think the reports of it, 10, 12 feet deep, evenly spread, falling from the sky, just around the time when a comet, yes, a comet, passes overhead, like comet cleaners, you know what I'm talking about? You know? Well, we'll get more into it sometime. Archway, tunnel, Mudflood, giants. Are you getting the picture? Do you know the way? This is like in the movie Moana, you know? They have the ship inside the cave or whatever. It made me think of that. That's a good movie, by the way. You don't need to be a little kid or even have little kids or anything to enjoy that movie. Take my word for it. Moana, worth seeing. Really good. Really great. Really great. And yes, I am perfectly normal, red-blooded, heterosexual man. But I like the movie Moana. I'm not the only one. Come on. Real native photo. Small eyes. Kind of a big person. Dressed in gingham, too. I don't know what's around his or her neck. I can't tell. It's a him. Pointy top cone head hat, though. Look at that galleon. Pretty cool. I always liked galleons. I don't know why they're called galleons, but... Anybody planning on carving up one of those to just kind of plop in place of a window or whatever? Nope, I didn't think so. Look at that. Something burnt down. Tartarian bricks. Them Tartars cranked out them bricks, I'm telling you, man. They made those bricks like nothing. It's a Pokemon ball. Gotta catch them all. Kind of like a tennis ball in a way. I have no idea what it really is. Buried city. Buried city. Anybody making a door lock like this tomorrow? No? Oh, I didn't think so. I don't know who made this back then when they had less of everything, supposedly. They were just closer to being apes. This primitive, stupid people didn't know how to walk out of Africa or whatever. And a few years later, they're making this. And then nowadays, we can't even wear shoes to Walmart. We can't even get out of our pajamas before we go to Walmart. Electric carriage. Yep. Perfectly normal for the 1800s, according to the official historical narrative. Yep. Yeah, okay. Oh, got the scale wrong again, boys. And they took the word gold and made it literal. This is what they walked into. This is what it was. It's not like it was this way and you had to fight for it and all this. It wasn't like it was this way and, you had to pay for it because you promised and somebody built it for you and then you had to pay them and it was just a really bad idea. They walked into these places and it was like this. And then you go there now, wherever it is, and it looks like crap. They could have just left it. Just left it the way it is. It was fine. Better than fine. You can't do this anymore. Nobody does this anymore. And why are the streets so wide? Why is everything so big if it weren't for them gargantuans? ChaCharian bricks. Now these are the bricks I'm talking about that are so strong. I don't suggest trying to break one because I don't know how many are even left. Lots. One building has like, a fairly large building, but one typical Tartarian building, used as an example, has over 6 million of these bricks. And those buildings are everywhere around the world, even though they've been systematically destroyed and absconded with. The bricks get reused. I wonder if the house I live in has some of these reused type of bricks. But I think the bricks on my house are not as smooth. They're not as nice as these. These are super duper. Your guess is as good as mine, but remember I was telling you about the big old, the way the cathedrals, the way these buildings were set up. Just seems perfect for that. For a big old goddess, deity, giant, whatever, Nephilim. That's what, when I think of the Nephilim, this is more of what I picture. Just not a statue, but just actually like, because it's like, I'm not going to let some Nephilim rule over me, blah, blah, blah. But they're pretty impressive, extremely intelligent, and they were very powerful and huge. But yet, with Titans around, see, it's all that mythology. It all makes perfect sense, I think. Except for the fact, how could they function because of physics and all this, with the densities. But if it were a more dense time back then, it makes perfect sense. Mudflood. Comet passes overhead, 10 to 12 feet of crap, silt, whatever, falls down, breaks all the trees. Buildings buried 10 to 12 feet deep, all over. People barely survive. They come out and they're looking around and like, what the heck just happened around here? And, they're giants. And then the little people come along, those little bastards. That's us, that come along later and kind of boss them around, and then they just get the heck out of the place. I don't know where they are. The Gray Havens is like the best guess I have from watching Lord of the Rings. What is this? The divining mirror? Kind of like what I'm using, the iPad. But look, it goes 3D. Alchemy. It has evil written all over it. Okay, so I started the other video with this picture. It's my best guess is this is an iron door, like a vault. Maybe not iron. Maybe it was steel or some other alloy. Like a vault door, and it just, the catastrophe of the deluge was so intense. It just busted up. But it was for a huge giant, and I think for a child, like a child's like piggy bank type thing or whatever. So it had lock and handle and whatever. So it's not like a real vault. But for them, it was, I mean, it wasn't a real vault for them. For us, it would be an impenetrable vault. But it's got kind of busted up. So, so, okay, you remember this. The ship's upside down on the sky. Interesting stuff, right? Right. Is this the world beneath, perhaps? I don't know. Anyway, here you got the sun, the moon, but the sun is darkened. Stars are falling from the sky. It looks like an earthquake or liquefaction. People are being sucked under. So if it wasn't a mud flood or silt fall, perhaps it was a suck down liquefaction event. Eclipse. Jesus got crucified. At the time of his crucifixion, there was great turmoil in the earth. That's when this happened, I believe. 3 days of darkness or 3 hours of darkness. I don't know for sure. There's that pesky UFO hanging out above these unnatural fires like what we recently had at Notre Dame, with the UFO being sighted, not this exact. It's more of like a black shape, but I saw it. You can go out and find it. Maybe I'll link it if I have time. Psalm 130, verse 7 or 71. I don't know. Line 71. I don't know. Yeah. Hoffe auf den Herrn. Put your trust in the Lord. Well, what's happening there? I mean, sheesh. So they're saying whatever this was, that it came from the Lord God. So it must have been bad people. They have them on coins. They have the same exact thing on coins. And the arrows coming out of the sky. Wheel in the sky keeps on turning. I don't know if my church will be there tomorrow. Or whatever it is that, you know, a whole city or whatever the heck gets blasted off the surface of the earth. The Great Fire at Chicago, October the 8th, 1871. They climbed aboard their starship and headed for the sky. Yeah. I don't know if this is bogus or not, but I find it curious. Look at this. Atmospheric energy wave protection. It's like a magnetic field. It's protecting them from what? From above. From what? I don't know. Plasma event, whatever that is. I don't know. Electrical EMP? I don't know. Well, Faraday cage, but even better. A golden capacitor Faraday cage. Look at that. I mean, are you kidding me? It's electrical, folks. Get the key to the city. It's giant. Get it? Got it? Good. Oh, I like your purse. Well, your purse looks like the movie Metropolis for the handle. Pretty awesome. Kind of like steampunky sci-fi, if you ask me. Pretty cool. See those scepters or maces back there? Were they just to whack people with? Were they just ceremonial? Were they just to carry around in front of the queen or whatever? Or were they actual, like, if you look at them portrayed through history, if you think of them as like an M16, then it makes more sense. Somebody got a coin lodged in their knee that petrified, or I don't know. It says 1744. Okay. And it's got two columns. We know what that means. It's got a flat earth, kind of slightly convex, with two globes above it floating, sun and moon maybe, and the crown on the top. I'm doing it all upside down. I'll have to flip it over for you. Okay. Well, that's all I know. Oh, scaled wrong, but we looked at that before. But look at the top. I mean, look at all the pokey things, like Pokemon. They just wanted to terrify all skydivers. Or was there some other reason? The ceiling acoustics are interesting. Is that a fireplace on top of a... What? See, that proves it's a cold air return right there. Proves it. I mean, explain it. It's a cold air return, folks. Look at the steps. To the right. Big old steps. Big steps. Not baby steps. The whole place is big. It's empty. Empty. It's like a warehouse. It's like a fancy museum quality warehouse. Again, super big. Look at that lamp. My gosh, it's gorgeous. Key to the city, or scepter actually this time. Mace, scepter, whatever. Was it just something to whack? You know, the king would use it and he would whack somebody when they didn't listen to him. Why do you rule with the scepter? Is that where the word accept comes from? You better accept the terms? I don't know. Anyway, it has a carrying case like a gun would, or a musical instrument, which I find to be curious, because why would the scepter have to travel? The king doesn't travel to you. You travel to the king. That's how it works. I mean, if he has to travel somewhere with his scepter, then you're going to be sorry. I think it's kind of a weaponish type thing. I mean, not like a mace, but way more powerful than that. Otherwise, how did these little pipsqueaks like us ever boss these giants around? You know what I mean? All right, so that's it. I think that was one of my better videos. It's going to end just about exactly on the hour, too. It's like a 1 hour episode. You know how much this is worth? Like, I wish TV were like this back. How many hours of television did I watch? And here, I mean, this is interesting, I think. Hopefully funny, different, genuine. It's the total package, man. UAP channel. I'm out.